What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of 4 Dummies, and tonight I am joined with the other 3 dummies. I have Mr. Robert Detoff.
Hello.
Mr. Just One.
Yo, what's happening?
And Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
And tonight we are going to continue with the collection critiques. You know the routine, check your feelings at the door, but also we're going to do 2 this month because of the kind of shenanigans of last month. We missed 1. And then on top of that, if you want the uncut version of this, along with Sit Down Saturday, tons of reviews and plenty more, feel free to join the Patreon at the $5 level to get the hour-long version of this. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started, and our first entry is from Robert R., not to be confused with our own Robert D.
Robert Retolf.
So let me say this. I think this guy's collection is at a pivotal stage. I think it's getting ready to burst. And how he handles that is going to be how his collection ends up looking. I think that you got all the furniture that you thought you needed. You got your cubes, you got your Detoffs, you got your like bells and whistles there set up, and then you filled it, and then you filled the backspace with it, and you filled the side space with it, and you filled space with the TV, and you did everything that you could, and now it has reached max capacity, and it's all about how you thin that herd and fix it from there.
Yeah, it's just really, there's not much to say. You have cool stuff, but you just need to update your furniture now. Because what are you going to do? Where do you go from here? Unless you tell us you're done collecting, and then we could say, all right, well, the usual stuff, raise your Detoffs up, maybe this area where you have the couch and that little black thing. I don't know why you have 3 different tiers of stuff, but do something there to raise it up. Maybe don't use the Terminus Giganticus box as a stand. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I think that, like, even if you just look at this first picture, he has that little ledge, right? And he put his boxes behind that. But the boxes end up making the space behind the Detoffs to the right look too busy. And then even like the kind of like Tetris ups and downs at the top, it becomes visually distracting.
Yeah, I think the boxes definitely need to go.
The boxes need to go.
I think you could have those Zeta boxes, but that's what I was going to say too. If you're keeping the Zeta boxes, which are fine, you do need to make all the boxes on top the same level.
The Zeta ones are definitely the better of them, but I still feel like, take for instance, you lift up those Detoffs, right? Get those Detoffs off the floor. So you can't put Triptychon and Predaking up there anymore. You can't put Godzilla and Metroplex up there anymore. So you lift those off the floor. Then you can put 2 of those pieces on that ledge behind Fort Max and Scorponok. Do you know what I mean?
You could put the pieces potentially in the cubes that you put underneath the Detoff if you buy something.
Well, yeah. Or have something custom made. But even if you didn't, you could like put big figures on that ledge space where those boxes are. That'll save you display space and also look more interesting than just these pile of boxes. Specifically the ones that are all cattywampus in terms of size. Actually, even orientation, like the cup, the Fans Toys cup box is like sideways, but the other ones are straight.
Yeah.
My opinion is that corner's got to go. Like, you got the whole corner.
The one with Thor and everything?
You start on Thor's right side, stage right, my left, and then it's 1, 2, 3 Detoffs, Thor, you got a King Kong, a Godzilla, boxes.
I think if we got rid of the boxes, like it really would.
Yeah, Thor would look better without the boxes.
Yeah, it would
Put Thor
really
in your bathroom across from your toilet so he's pushing with you. I don't know, but that don't
I
look
like
right
the Thor there. It handles that corner space good. I think it looks cool.
You know what else would handle that corner space? Some good shelves. And the figures put on those shelves properly.
That is true.
Why do you got King Kong on a Louis?
It's not going to be as interesting, though, if you just had like a Billy that went there, for example.
But it's not interesting now.
Not to skip ahead, but I want to. This guy's got these Guitar Hero guitars on the wall, which is totally fine. But, dude, you better be sick at that game.
I'm sorry, but is that a Pacific Rim figure in that glass box next to the Guitar Heroes?
That's probably the Bondi.
Oh, I thought that was an Iron Giant, but no, I think it is a Pacific Rim.
That's a specific rim.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time here to start thinning the herd.
So I think that, like, as crowded as the first 2 pictures are, if we got rid of the boxes, it would be better. But when I look at, like, the couch area, it goes to, like, a different level of, like, awkwardness because there's some areas that are a little crowded and some that are, like, not filled enough.
But we're behind where the Autobots symbol
so
is.
I feel
there's
like I don't know if the Autobot symbol could, like, go up above the middle poster or something, and then you could just do something different with that wall where where there's just that single shelf. Like it looks empty, and then we got to do something about the curtains because it just doesn't really work.
It's a pretty sweet rug he's got.
This area feels less finished to me than the other. I think if we get rid of the boxes on the other side, that can feel fairly finished, but this area is like a work in progress.
I'll be honest with you, I feel like it all feels like a pimple that's about to pop to me. Ooh. I feel like I was in this stage at one point, and the good news is after this is when you start to have a little bit of clarity. It's an exercise, it's totally worthwhile, but take everything off of a shelf and then start putting pieces back on one at a time. Start putting pieces back on one at a time until you're happy with that shelf, and then stop and move on to the next shelf. And then when you have your leftover, that's where decisions need to come in as, what do I do with this? Do I find a way to display this in a meaningful way, or do I annex it?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Those curtains make it look like his grandma let him put his toys up in her house.
Those curtains look like you as a kid were a sack race champion, and you sewed them all together to make some curtains.
Maybe they're not curtains. Maybe they're his old sack race.
They're not burlap. Oh my god!
You know, Bobby loves that shelf above the lit Autobot symbol, though. Oh, he loves that one, Jisk.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh man, Busta Rhymes.
Oh, Bobby loves this. He is particularly biased towards this individual because of the busts.
Robert, you hate a bust.
I think real fast, and I know we touched on it, but I think Laura is right. That Autobot light that you have is just taking up better. It's taking up good real estate for something else. It could go above your TV. It could go above those posters.
What's this little guy? What's this little red guy doing sitting on the floor? It's like an angry, like a.
It's a red Hulk. I'm not sure why he's on the floor.
Why is he sitting down there?
Where is he?
Next to the couch, like on the left side of the couch. You see him just hanging out?
Just hanging out. He's
got all these Godzillas up there. I mean, dude.
Flexing on him.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's right before a reorganization. That's my best advice. Take it all off the shelves and start putting it back on, because I think you're close. And you have a lot of these these sets of 2 Detolfs. Look at IKEA Moe's Joe's. They'll lift up 2 Detolfs, no problem, and look great. Let's move on to the next one. This is Mike H.
No. This is getting started. Got a Nona. Just getting started.
Yeah, there's some Nonas.
Lots of Billies too.
So I'm having a hard time making sense of this space. So he's watching a little bit of Skullface, so I dig that. And I actually think that the Avengers shelf above that looks fantastic. Pandering. But I think the Avengers shelf above that looks great.
Yeah, the Spider-Man shelf looks cool.
It looks like the moment of Endgame where they're ready to take on Thanos to me. That's what it evokes.
Yeah.
I think that works perfect. Now, the other shelf with the 1/12 scale figures, I think the Spider-Man shelf looks good as well. Mm-hmm. Below that, Thanos and the villains is it's a mess. It's a mess.
Just need some risers. There's risers
and a couple flight stands, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a flight.
It's
too much.
The background too of whatever that
white thing.
I don't know if it's some kind of contact paper or something is distracting to me.
Yeah, me too. And you need the other 2 DJD members, but I know you know that. Then we have let's take a look at these Billies.
Not crowded at all.
They're crowded. It's too much. You need to take all this off and start putting them back one by one and leaving a little bit of space, or start giving some risers, start separating height. You can pack into a shelf, but you have to have some variation in size, height, etc. And then you have to have some light if you're going to have them that crammed in there. Then he's got the 3 little Billies, the half-size Billies with the stuff on top, with the Dreamwave poster above it.
They need to be the same color.
Yeah, there's just some easy fixes here, man. I'll be honest with you, you need to start over. You need to start over. You need a plan. You need a plan. You don't have a plan here, and it shows. You've grown as your collection has grown. You've bought more stuff to sort of facilitate it, but now it looks like a hodgepodge. Now it looks like a flea market. You need to start over and give it a unified, purposeful look.
That is really what it is. Yeah, cohesive furniture would tie it all together.
Yeah.
And it looks like you have the space for it. It looks like you have a pretty fair amount of space.
Yep. Decent space. And he can pose figures, a lot of his figures are very posed, especially when he has the room to do so. Mm-hmm. Go jackets and all that.
I thought that said go jack, and it was above you saying truth. And I'm like, he asked for it. Give him the truth. Mm. Just because you got 2 Nonas doesn't mean you need two of her shelves. Because this guy's borrowed 1 from each.
Mm. Yeah. This one needs a reboot, buddy. All right, let's move on. This is Eric L. I'll tell you what I like about this. There's some living space here.
Right.
There's a space to enjoy what he's done. It does help. You got to get the details off the floor.
Yep, details have to be raised up. Anything against a window is always problematic just for the lighting. I was going to say the shelf with the books and the figures, and then I just think it needs to be decluttered a bit, but I think it looks good. Like it looks like it's a calyx, and then has the He-Man stuff on it.
Yep.
I think that has potential there.
I agree.
I just think it just you're like I think it just needs to be reworked a little bit.
Yeah, even like the X-Men above it look good.
Yeah.
The single pieces to the left of it, our left, look good. These are terrible photos. But that little computer station that you can see through the Star Wars wall where you can like sit and do work, and he's got the 2 shelves and like he's got a couple frame pictures and stuff like that, to me looks good. He's got a little modeling station.
I think like how all those shelves match, then they match the desk. Like that looks nice.
Yeah, I actually think he's got a lot of
all the floating shelves.
Cool stuff here. Like I think it needs to be decluttered to taste. That like the details need to be lifted up and all the kind of normal stuff. But I think that like aside from the normal kind of criticisms, like I think he's in a pretty good spot.
I do really like the shelves and that with the desk, like he clearly has had either the same person or he himself has used the same like trim and everything. But there's a lot going on in these collection rooms. So I feel like aside from all of the toys or collectibles, we can't have a whole lot of extra. So like stripes in the curtains and stripes on the pillows, like we just got to keep it simple. We got to go with solid.
That's fair. Yeah,
that's fair.
Solid and simple because there's too many other things going on here.
Fair. Good point.
So there you go.
That's a good point. And I think that sometimes, like, you know, we like decorations on the wall and stuff on the wall, but maybe it might be with the amount of stuff that you have on the shelves and the amount of stuff that you have in the details and the amount of stuff that you have on the walls, and then it might all be a bit much, you know, like it might be better to just tone it down a bit.
And if he lifts those details up, he may not even really need those curtains, right?
Yeah.
Because it looks like he has blinds there too.
Also, too, just, you know, we never really talked about this, but raising the details up too is going to make your room look bigger.
Yeah.
It's going to make it look like you have taller ceilings just because you're having, you know, you're not cutting your space in half with the top of the detail line. So just something to consider. I do think the Ninja Turtle shelf is actually cool. I think the way with the artwork in the back fills out that space and makes it look good.
Yeah, but that's not too much. You know, sometimes he has you know, 8 or 9 different pieces, you know, behind the figures, and that's a great, you know, he's got like kind of comic book on one spot and then movie and then cartoon, and yeah, the turtle stuff looks great.
It is about thinning it out. Like for me, like this is what I do whenever I'm looking at these photos, as I use my thumb to cover things. So if I'm looking at this bottom Ninja Turtle shelf and I cover the 4 original turtles, it does look better without those 4 in there for me. So I mean, even if that's what you're doing, if you want to take a photo of something, look at it and just cover stuff up with a finger, you just block it out of the frame so you can kind of see what it is that you're looking at. If for those of you that want to save time and not have to take everything off the shelf right off the bat. But
looking at the turtle picture, I'll give you a perfect example what I see, right? So I like the artwork with the cartoon stuff in the front, and then below that, artwork with the movie and then comic book stuff in the front. And then if you look to the left of it, you got that little box full of like little like doodad, little like Nindo droid type figures. And then above that, you have a drawing. Between that, you have some figures standing on top of the box. Like just get those out of there.
Right. But also too, if you go back one photo where you see that whole space, the negative wall space underneath that where he has the X-Wing looks bad. That needs to be filled in.
Agreed.
So you could put another shelf in there, and I think that would help.
Agreed.
All right.
Yeah, but this is my favorite that I've seen tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Because it looks, while it does need work, at least it looks complete, and it looks like this person thought about it.
Yeah.
And not just like just kept adding and adding and adding until it became a problem.
That chair, right? He's got those crowded floating shelves behind him. I wonder if he ever thumps down into the couch and then the figures just rain all over his head. But you know what? I don't like the carded stuff on the walls. I don't like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not really a fan of it either. I know one of us here loves it.
But you know what? I would rather see a floating shelf going across and fill it with busts.
You guys ate me up. All right, so here we go. Last one for the night. This is Clinical, and I made a note to myself to pronounce it Clinical, even though it's spelled with a K. So let me tell you what the problem is immediately with this. First of all, the details are on the ground. It's just you just had that one light at the top. All that stuff is not okay. But most importantly,
a stick of dynamite.
It's that flower thing behind it.
It's too much.
It's
the wallpaper.
Much. It's too much.
It makes it look like they're in the jungle.
And you need to put Soar in the middle. It just doesn't. I know Grimlock is the leader. I know it's hard, but you need to move Grimlock out of the middle. You need to put Sora there. The wingspan and all that, it just makes it too much of an impressive piece to not put it in the middle. It always is going to look better in the middle.
Put Grimlock all the way to the left, put the Sludge all the way to the right.
Correct.
And you're fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Other than that, your Detolfs are too cluttered, they're too crowded, they're too boring, and they're sitting on the floor.
Go ahead.
And then you got all the pattern behind it that makes it even busier. So you already got these busy Detolf shelves, then you're putting the flower pattern behind it to just make it busier.
Let me tell you, you keep scrolling and you're going to find out that this dude don't give a shit about toys. You're going to find out what this guy's true passion is, and I love it.
So I agree. So that's the best thing about this room is this music. This is the Mike Dean of Transformers collectors. This dude has got 9 synthesizers and keyboards, and he's got his little computer set up. Like, this dude likes to make music. Like, he's got the little, I even like the little Muppet setup he's got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it fits,
And you spent, go ahead.
No, and I was just going to say that I agree with you that, like, Transformers are a side thing, but this is where your heart is. This is where your passion is, and just focus on this.
Maybe because they make stands, so it's easier to display this stuff, but you could tell more care went into the setup of all of this than the other stuff. Maybe not even care, just more passion went into it.
I agree.
Yeah, but it's cool.
I don't know.
More of this
I
stuff.
don't know that it was necessarily more passion. I think there was passion with setting up the other part too. It just didn't go as expected.
Well, I will give him this. The way he has them is he has the smaller guys in the front, then he has the Carbot size guys in the middle, and then the leader class size in the backs. That's what he's going for. He's just going for natural sizing to display, but you need risers regardless when you're doing that.
So Laura thinks this may be a female.
It may be because of the flowers.
Is it the keyboards?
I mean, unless they're using somebody else's space, it's a lot of
flower patterns and stuff.
Like,
is it? So listen, we're making a lot of assumptions, and this is what's fun. But I feel like if it was a woman, I feel like it would be set up a little bit.
Better,
cleaner,
like,
just cleaner.
Yeah, because women know that.
Yeah, but maybe not. That's totally me. Just I could be totally wrong, and don't come at me.
Oh, look!
Being a misogynist.
Look at the Detolf's bottom right hand corner. We squeezed in a Scorponok in there, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did.
He lifted up the glass from the shelf above it, squinched in the reflector that are not posed well with the Blitzwing, which is also not posed well. But I give him a pass for that because that's the KFC one. It's difficult to pose. That's how they did it, or she did it, or he did it.
Send us some of your music. It better be good.
Yeah, send us
your
your
music. Money you've invested in this stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like what's in the Detolfs is actually looks pretty good. Like, they need to come off the floor.
I don't know if I agree. Like, I think that some worked better than others, but I think
there's some that they're all on the same level.
Yeah, but I think that overall, like specifically that one with Mirage and Warpath and all them, like it's just and Jetfire's in the back, like it's just like it's thrown away.
She legit.
I want to see a circle of trust, and then a rat, and then a floor mat.
I want somebody shredding on Guitar Hero.
Peony. I want to see a peony.
And some Manuka. How about some Manuka bottle?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll send a picture of our bottle.
Busts.
Yeah.
A lot of busts.
Lots of busts.